Hello, ladies and gents, boys and girls. Welcome to Tales with TR, episode 266B, coming at you from Mill River Resort right here in beautiful Prince Edward Island. I'm about to golf in about 20 minutes with the Freezer twins, those Shoresy fans out there who are the Gallant brothers from PEI. Dougie Gilmore's here today, Larry Robinson, Yvonne Lambert, Matt Barnaby, wrestler Mike Hughes, the Trailer Park Boys, and more. Dion Phaneuf, Joe Dolo, Andrew Ansonen. I haven't seen the boys yet, but they get in this morning. We're going to have a great time. We're going to raise a lot of money. The Novus Golf Tourney. We raise a lot of money for the Boys and Girls Club. And Fitz from Manitoba wanted to know what I think in light of the MLB All-Star Game. What do you think is the best All-Star Game, and what would you change about the National Hockey League All-Star Game? Okay, so the All-Star Game, I stopped caring about it years ago. I used to think, like a lot of fans, what the fuck are they doing? The game sucks. No one's trying. And then I went to the last few, courtesy of Chicklets, two of them. Thank you, boys. And it's about the kids, right? It's about the promotion of the game, whatever city it's in. Usually it's a spectacle, right? So who am I to say? What do I care? I would like to see a decent game, but however they come up with that, nowadays, isn't it like different teams, 3 on? I don't even know honestly, I have no idea. In recent history, I don't know who won the game, and I've seen them all. So it's not really that memorable of an event. But the baseball game is the most pure of all of it. I mean, you still got pitchers schemes through like fucking 5 pitches over 100. Like the batters are still batting, the pitchers are still pitching. There's still, to me, some level of effort there. Traditionally, I think the baseball is the easiest to follow. But you asked me about hockey. What would I change? I don't fucking know. What would I add to the skills competition? Okay. So my colleague, Jason Greger, he thinks a one-timer should be implemented. We had this question the other day, Fitz, on Jason Greger's show that I do in Edmonton on Tuesdays and Thursdays. And I thought it was a decent idea. You get these guys just skating into the shot, the hardest shot. Why not take the one-timers? And guys like, I don't know, fucking Caulfield, Line, Ovechkin, Matthew, whoever's on that side position on the power play that's ready for the one-timer. A lot of players can do it. Some players thrive at it. Guys like Draisaitl are so close to the line. Maybe it could be one-timer, could be for power, but you could also measure like distance from the line. A guy like Draisaitl, you know what I mean? That shot up over the goalie's shoulder, that seems impossible. And he seems to shoot it from like inches out in front of the goal. I don't know how he does it, but I know how he does it, but it's pretty amazing to see an NHL player do it consistently. And a guy like Ovechkin, who's just had his office over there for years, and no matter what, he seems to get open, he takes that shot, right? Like, these guys are the best at what they do. I'd love to see that, but that's not my answer. That's Jason Greger's answer. I can't take credit for that. What I like and what I think goes unnoticed and underrated, 1 second, is tipping the puck. So let's say in recent history, you get a guy like Joe Pavelski or Sidney Crosby. The obvious players, I think, there's a lot that are good at it. Those guys are great at it. They thrive on it. And I think it's underrated because it's a skill, and it's used a lot in games. And it's just something that we never really give credit to or pay attention to. Now, I know it's a lot different in a game than it would be, but it's still hand-eye coordination. You don't need players shooting at 100. Just wrist them in there from the blue line, whatever it's going to be. Maybe have shooter-tutor so it's consistent, because you can tip it up or down. I mean, I'm not going to tell you how physics works, but yeah, if it's me, I think it'd be great. I remember those of you Western Hockey League 90s fans, there was a guy, Chad Cabana. Okay, he played with me. He was my captain in Tri-Cities. Now, I've got better hands than Cabby. So if you look at it statistically, I had better seasons in Tri-Cities. But there's more to it than meets the eye. Cabby was a great captain, first of all, and he was a two-way player, and he really worked for his goals. I'm not putting him down. I had a better hockey IQ and I had better hands, but the things that made Cabby a great junior and eventually pro, got drafted by Florida, played a few years in the American League. We actually got in a fight when I was in Freddie and he was in New Haven. But anyway, Cabby, I remember saying to me, he said, treat it like the key in basketball. Because I was having a hard time. And, people were like, go to the net, have balls. And whether it was the 90s WHL, which was real tough, or today's game, whatever, it's still part of the game. And it's still not easy to just stand there because you're going to take a beating to some level. Now, back then it was magnified because for me in the Western League, it would have been like Wade Belak and Chris McAllister and fucking Jason Strudwick, Sheldon Surrey, Zdeno Chara, guys like that. And then, in pro, same sort of beast, right? You're playing against big men that are, the biggest, toughest in the minors, I remember, was Greg Bird Dog Smith. Rest in peace, Greg. Bird Dog, my buddy. And in the NHL, I only played against him twice, but Chris Pronger was, he's ruthless. It was hard to do. So, for me, even if you just break it down to the WHL, and Cabby was there, and I had to work on stuff. If I got the puck in open ice, maybe, I could make a goal happen as projected. But Cabby had to really work for it. And I remember him saying that. He's like, you can't just go there and stand there. Like one might eventually bounce in off you, but if you go in and out, and where are you putting your stick? Where you got to make it hard for the D. And by moving, right, you're gonna keep that movement. And if you time it right, not only will you be there to tip the shot, but you'll either get a rebound or screen the goalie. And I took it to heart, and of course, that was in my beginning of my 16-year-old year, and I was struggling a bit. I believe I had 16 or 17 goals that year. And there was a big, expectation. I had a decent 16-year-old year in the West, 33 points, 176 minutes. Nothing to write home about. 60 games played. So it was pretty good for a 16-year-old year, but I knew that as third overall pick, they expected more. And I was working all year on things, and yes, the one-timers and in and out of pylons and having defensemen stay on with me after. And I remember when Cabby said that. Just treat it like the key in basketball. Out, in, move, present your stick in different places, kind of look and start reading off your defenseman and when he's going to release that puck. And that's when you pop back into the slot. And not only did I take that advice, and I still use it, really, if you're playing ball hockey or even if you're at a summer skate, right? You still need hand-eye, and there's still shots coming in from the point. You might not you might not be taking a beating in front like a regular season game, but there's still a level of defense that's being played against you, and there's still a level of having to tip that puck. So, yeah, for me, 100% that would be it. Do I have a big beef? No. I guess the only other thing, we talked about this on the show too, would be I think the All-Stars should be the All-Stars. None of this, we got to have someone from every team. Just take the best players. And if that means you got to take 5 off a team and none off another, that's totally cool. If I was on a shit team and got voted into the All-Star game just because we needed representatives, I wouldn't feel great about that. I would have no problem with a team. I don't know. Again, let's say for argument's sake, we're talking about the Oilers. It didn't, not last year, but the year before, Nugent Hopkins had like 100 and something points. So there you got Draisaitl, McDavid, Nugent Hopkins, all on one team, all 100 points. I could go deeper. There's lots. I'm just explaining with that. Yeah, and you probably had that year Bouchard, maybe Nurse was an all-star. I can't remember, but you got 5 or 6 guys off the team, and I'm sure one of them maybe didn't go. Did Nuge go? I really don't know. But then you got someone off another team. I don't know. I guess maybe Chicago or San Jose or something, right? I don't know. A guy like Nick Foligno, Good player. I think he was an all-star. Was he a couple years ago? If not, and I love Nick Foligno. 100 out of 100, I take him on my team. I just mean, what was it? One of those guys. I thought it was him maybe as an all-star, and it just, are you an all-star? I really don't know. It's nice to have people there from every team. I don't think it's necessary. Maybe if you're hosting and it's a one-off year and there's really nobody on your team, I get it there. Maybe even take a couple, but this just, everybody needs to be represented. There's too many teams. I could see that if there was 6 teams or 16 or 21 even, like there used to be. But now there's over 30. There's just more teams than there are players to go, like, you know what I mean? Like, if you took one from every team, there's 32. Just one, right? So for me, I'd rather it be a true, I don't care what you do. I don't care if you play 3-on-3, no hitting, tiddlywinks. I don't give a fuck what you do. But you should probably have the all-stars there. There you go. All-stars, one-timers, tips in front. And Fitz, that's my fucking answer, and I'm sticking to it. That's about it. That's all I got right now. I'm hoping to get a guest, and hopefully this week we'll have one of the Gallant brothers, or we'll have Larry Robinson, or one of these legends I just named. We got more coming in. Wendell Clark's also here. Ally Afraidy, Matt Barnaby. It's going to be a pretty wild few days. So if you're in Mill River, you're in PEI, come on up, donate. I'm going to post on my socials a link, and please be kind and donate. I know a lot of you Shoresy fans are out there, and you follow me in my exploits, and you like to donate. Well, this is a great cause. This is Boys and Girls Club. I go back with this one over 20 years, and that's near and dear to my heart. When I started it, it was myself and a handful of people. We did one in Charlottetown, and I don't know what happened along the way. It morphed up here, and now it turns into, there's over 100 quote-unquote celebrities. Anyway, we like to have fun. It's going to be a good time. So thanks for tuning in. Sorry about the short pod, but I got to get something done and put out there. I think I answered at least a few of your questions there. It's more than one person asked that. And either way, it's a great time to be alive. All-star game, no all-star game, skills competition, home run derby, whatever. Congrats to Kyle Raleigh. I know I got a few major leaguers that listen to this. Fantastic story. And for him to have the year he's having, and also have win the home run derby, was quite amazing. Anyway, I'll get into, I'm going to have another major leaguer on pretty soon, Davis Schneider. I don't want to bother him during the season, but Davis was nice enough to get me a couple of tickets. I met him at one of these events last January in Ontario. I believe it was Brockville. And anyway, I'd like to get more baseball presence. One of my favorite sports, always has been. And the Jays are in a good position. Again, a lot of people want, I know you've been following along, but baseball players play so much that I don't really want to bother them during the season, honestly. I might have Josh Reddick again soon. But anyway, follow me on socials, Terry Ryan 2020 at Instagram, Terry Ryan 20 on Twitter. And TikTok, I can't even really remember. By the way, if you guys are sending me messages on TikTok, I've never checked a message. I'm not being ignorant. I only have so much time. So I just post on there. I don't really know much else about it. In downtown St. John's, Newfoundland and Labrador, you know what? If I was you, I would head to Trinity Pub, TJ's Pub, Rob Boy Confusion, the Martini Bar, Green Sleeves, and of course the Bull and Barrel. If I was going to go for a bite to eat, I'd try out Loose Tie, Blue on Water, and Wedgwood Cafe. If I was going to go work out, I'd try Power Conditioning. Ryan Power Conditioning, strength and balance for the body and mind. It's on Rope Walk Lane. If I wanted to go to Mr. Lube, there's 2 locations in St. John's. One's on Torbay Road, one's on Kemont Road. Live, laugh, Lube. Crown Cabinets, just because. Carpet Factory, laying the carpet for your community. GS Construction, laying the groundwork for your community, if that community happens to be Edmonton, Alberta. Muggsy Jeans, I loves me Muggsy Jeans. They're comfortable, they fit well, and I loves me Muggsy Jeans. True Hockey, take what's yours. Folks, we'll be back in just a couple of days with more Tales with TR.